in Europe. We shall as well not make a mistake to tell you about sport this morning on the morning show. And of course, that which we said about rolling as usual is our morning reflection, where we inspire someone somewhere. And so, let's begin reflecting this morning as our very first slot. I am Henry Wana at the anchor in Douala, saying thanks for trusting us once more. We begin with our very first slot this morning, which of course it is our reflection. This morning we want to reflect about attitude. In pidgin they say fashion, right? All right, they say attitude is like 8 months pregnancy. When it's 8 months, it must certainly show. So no matter how long you decide to hide it from people, the society must definitely discover who truly your attitude is. This morning we begin with our very first picture on our screens. Attitude is a reflection of character, and character is a reflection of habit. Attitude is a reflection of character, and character is a reflection of a habit. Those of you who continue hiding some of your characters, it is your habit, right? Yes, they say attitude is like 8 months pregnancy. No matter how long you decide to keep it away from people, it must certainly show. So endeavor to wear a positive face. If there is a bad attitude you have, endeavor to change it. For they say attitude is like it's a reflection of character, and character is a reflection of habit. So there is no difference between your character and habit. They both are better the same feather. Our next picture this morning says that the only disability in life is a bad attitude. The only disability in life is a bad attitude. You must not have, you must not be blind, you must not be handicapped or paralyzed for you to say you are disabled. Having a bad character, having a bad attitude makes you disability, makes you disabled. So endeavor to make sure that you try to be able, you must be able to have that ability by having good character. No one is perfect in life, true, but when everyone is complaining about you, therefore there is a problem somewhere. So try to look at your face in the mirror and try to tell yourself, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to be accepted in the society? What can I do to be accepted in my family? There is no need everyone to be complaining about you. There should be something wrong. Are they jealous about you? What could be the problem? There should be something wrong somewhere. It's endeavor sometimes for us to sit back and reflect, where is that problem coming from? So our next picture this morning tells us that you say that I have a bad attitude. Guess what? My attitude is a result of your actions. Change your actions and I will change my attitude. For sure. If you are complaining that I have a bad attitude, perhaps my bad attitude is because of your action towards me. Endeavor to change your bad attitude towards me, and I shall change. You shall see the good side of me. So stop complaining that I have a bad attitude, right? Endeavor to look at yourself in the mirror. Where am I having that problem? Why should I be always having problem with this, with A? Why not B? Why should it always be this personality? Perhaps it is your attitude towards me that pushes me to distance myself away from you. So it's important for you to understand where your problem is coming from. Is it from your bad character, your bad approach? Endeavor to change so that you can be acceptable in the society. And of course, our last picture this morning says a bad attitude can literally block love, blessings, and destiny from finding you. Do not be the reason you do not succeed. Do not be the reason that you do not succeed in life, because a bad attitude can literally block blessing, love, and destiny from finding you. Endeavor to cultivate the habit of spreading love. Endeavor to have a good attitude. Endeavor to wear a positive attitude in life. For you may never can tell, the person you are smiling today might definitely have an opportunity tomorrow to help you or to bless you, to change your life. You might never can tell. So that's why we are saying this morning that a bad attitude can literally block love, blessings, and destiny from finding you. Sometimes because so many boys are breaking your heart. When you see a boy approaching you, you wear a dull face. You may never can tell, maybe that heart mender was the one that God has sent. His approach to you, you insulted him, and he went away. To you, you are still praying that you are waiting for that heart mender. The heart mender came, and you never accepted. Instead, you sent him away. So it's important for us to endeavor to cultivate the habits of wearing a positive attitude so that our blessing can find us. All right, that's how we are starting the week. We're starting the week this week that we should endeavor to cultivate the habit of wearing a positive attitude. Attitude is like 8 months pregnancy. Take it or you leave it. Whenever it gets to 8 months, it must certainly show. So endeavor to wear a good positive attitude as the week unfolds, be it a single, be it a student, be it married or unmarried. Endeavor to cultivate the habit of having a good attitude so that you can be acceptable in a society. You will not be able to block that blessing that God has destined for you. Let's have Guillaume Ter to do for us this morning. A beautiful piece this morning titled Dis-moi ce que tu veux. Tell me what you want. And I'm telling you to wear a positive attitude. That's what I want you to hear this morning. Enjoy the piece. I will shall be back after that.
Dis-moi ce que tu veux, mon amour. Précise-moi ce que tu veux sincèrement. Mais dis-moi ce que tu veux que je fasse. J'ai tout donné selon ce que moi je peux. T'as voulu la liberté, je t'ai donné. Tes sentiments contrôlés, je t'ai donné. Tes bureaux par-ci par-là, je t'ai donné. Ne me fais pas de problème et de ta vie ce que tu veux. Dans le passé tu me disais que j'étais seul. Aujourd'hui que t'as connu beaucoup de femmes, nous sommes déjà un nombre indéterminé. Maintenant je ne représente plus rien pour toi. T'as voulu la liberté, je t'ai donné. Tes sentiments contrôlés, je t'ai donné. Tes bureaux par-ci par-là, je t'ai donné. Avec nos familles par là-bas, now wait till the worry you. Auguste, le baobab, Esther Del. Dis-moi ce que tu veux, mon amour. Précise-moi ce que tu veux sincèrement. Mais dis-moi ce que tu veux que je fasse. J'ai tout donné selon ce que moi je peux. T'as voulu la liberté, je t'ai donné. Tes sorties non contrôlées, je t'ai donné. Tes bureaux par-ci par-là, je t'ai donné. Ne me fais pas de problème, et de ta vie ce que tu veux. Dans le passé tu me disais que j'étais seul. Aujourd'hui que t'as connu beaucoup de femmes, nous sommes déjà un nombre indéterminé. Maintenant je ne représente plus rien pour toi. T'as voulu la liberté, je t'ai donné. Tes sentiments contrôlés, je t'ai donné. Tes bureaux par-ci par-là, je t'ai donné. Avec nos familles par là-bas, la way to the worry. Marco de Sodico, la dame de terre. Ousmane Diop, le géant. Soumbe, 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 Soumbe. La patience a ses limites. La patience a ses limites.
Tu m'as méprisé, tu m'as dénigré, je t'ai déjà supporté à l'excès.
Trop c'est trop. Mais dis-moi ce que tu veux, mon amour. Tu ne sais pas toi-même ce que tu veux au juste. Regarde comment tu m'as défiguré. Les injures et le raisonnement du fouet tous les jours. Chant, chant. Pas question d'amis, c'est le fouet. Chant, chant. Il n'y a pas de distraction, c'est le fouet. Chant, chant. La patience a ses limites. La patience a ses limites.
Tu m'as méprisé, tu m'as dénigré, je t'ai déjà supporté à l'excès.
Trop c'est trop.
Trop c'est trop.
Soumbe, 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 Soumbe. Bel Nkwane, le bon samaritain.
Soumbe, Soumbe. That's Guillaume Tell, the father of Bulldozer, as they've called him. And of course, we are just to remind you all that you are live on Home Morning, and we are streaming live on our Facebook page, Home Morning, YouTube channel, Home TV Cameroon. Well, let's move over to our next law this morning, which of course it is Health Secret, and Dr. Fu Richard is standing by to feed our indulgence about diabetes. Diabetes sometimes is hereditary, but then sometimes we are the ones that have to help develop diabetes in our system. So what we eat, how we eat, all matters for us not to contract diabetes, which of course it is still a very deadly disease in our society today. Hello Doc, good morning and welcome.
You are welcome once more to the program Health Secret. Today, I will be explaining or expatiating on issues that will create some awareness to help us realize why man is sick each day and looking for doctors, looking for healers, moving from one place to another with deplorable health situations. Why is it that man is always sick? Man, notwithstanding his knowledge, man has a well-developed brain, he has a mind, he has a spirit, he's controlled by the Spirit of God, but he's always sick. Sick, in need of doctors, in need of pastors, in need of prophets each day. But the animals in the wild, they don't know how to pray. They just eat anyhow. They don't even wash their food. They eat with dirty hands. They don't brush their mouth, their teeth. They sleep under very bad or harsh conditions, beaten by mosquitoes, insects. They wound themselves. They eat dirty food, infected food with bacteria, fungi, parasites, viruses, toxins. But they don't have doctors. They are always healthy. They are always fresh. They are always strong. But man, on the contrary, notwithstanding his well-developed brain, man is educated. Until we answer the question why, then the health of man will continue to decay with time. What do I mean by decaying with time? Those who have studied geography, if they say something decays with time, you hear of half-life. I mean, with time, the health of man will be deteriorating. The lifespan of man will be reducing with time until become a time that if man manages to reach 10 years or clock 10 years, it means he has tried. Man is sick because man is breaking the rules kept in place by his creator, the Almighty God, that will guide him. In a nutshell, most of our health problems are coming because of dietary divergence. Greetings, fellow viewers of Home TV. You are welcome to the program Health Secrets. Today I'll be talking on the topic diabetes. Yes, we all know of diabetes. In French it's called high glycemia. In English they say diabetes, high sugar. We know diabetes is a disease which conventionally it is being said that it has no permanent cure. You need to constantly take medications just to be bringing down the sugar. But here, most often, I always say the contrary because we speak out of experience. We have people we have treated, we have even documented their testimonies over the years. There are people who cured more than 20 years ago, some 15 years ago, 10 years ago, up to today. They eat and live well, eat everything now, they are fine. No diabetes over more than 1 decade, 2 decades. Yeah, so diabetes has cure when it comes to Mother Nature. It's only when you leave the cause of the diabetes and you concentrate on the high sugar to bring it down, then there's no permanent cure. For us, we always look for the main cause of diabetes. We cure the main cause, then heal the organs, bring back life to the organs, and then diabetes disappear. There are 3 types of diabetes. You have false diabetes and true diabetes. Under false diabetes, you have diabetes insipidus. Under true diabetes, you have diabetes mellitus. Yeah, diabetes insipidus is false diabetes because it gives signs and symptoms of the true diabetes, whereas it's due to a hormonal failure. Yet diabetes insipidus stems when the adrenal gland above the kidney fails to produce a certain hormone they call ADH, antidiuretic hormone. It is a hormone that causes reabsorption of water back into the blood and so many other nutrients that have been filtered out or salts. But when the hormone, there's a failure to produce enough of the hormone or completely fail, if there's a failure to produce enough or complete failure not to produce any, symptom of diabetes, always urinating and urinating and urinating and urinating because the hormone that is supposed to cause the reabsorption of water that has been filtered through the kidneys to be sent out has failed. And so it's just like a car that has a sensor that controls certain parts of the car. When the sensors fail, the parts of the car that sensor controls, they also fail to function. Yes, so that hormone is just like a sensor that sends signals and control the reabsorption of water back into the blood when it fails. That is false diabetes. They will have true diabetes that is called diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus will have type 1 and type 2. Most often type 1 is caused by a failure of the pancreas to produce enough insulin that converts excess glucose or sugar into glycogen and store in the muscles. When the pancreas fails, then sugar stays in the blood, is not converted into the muscles and is high in the blood and start causing dehydration of the cells. You know, people who study osmosis in primary school, you always burst cocoyam, and then to show how a stronger solution will always drag a weaker solution, you stand to the cocoyam from the dish where you put the cocoyam. Yes, so when there's too much sugar in the cells, when there's too much sugar in the plasma, or a blood plasma, it will start pulling water out of the cells. It means it dehydrates the cells. And when it dehydrates the cells will always send information to your brain that there's no water in the system. Then you direct sugar into glycogen that is stored maybe in the liver or in the muscles and so on. And then the sugar stays in the blood and causing the dehydration and so on, then causing you to always be thirsty. Then this failure can be caused by they cannot produce enough insulin for that. Then type 2 most often is due to our bad diet. We eat bad food, that we put on too much weight. We eat bad food that affects certain parts of our body and then leads to insulin resistance. It means your pancreas can be producing the insulin, but at the level of the cell, because of some information, the cells cannot produce certain hormones or some, I don't want to go deep into science, but where there's some messenger RNAs or transfer RNA, messengers RNAs, that's with that people who study science, you know what they call RNA, ribonucleic acid, which are supposed to carry information to out and so on, then cause the absorption and so on. It fails, then insulin now cannot be burnt to release energy, or cannot be absorbed to burn a sugar to release energy, and that is where the problem comes. So with type 2, you are producing insulin, but it cannot be utilized at the level of the cell because of some failures, which I don't want to go into the mechanism. Because of failure there, then the insulin cannot act with the sugar to break it down to release energy into the cells. So that is where, and so it happened to people who put a lot of weight. So we have two types of diabetes, that I mean diabetes mellitus, type 1 and type 2. Yes, diabetes is a chronic infection. Diabetes always comes when we abuse the laws of nature, when we sin against nature. I like using the word sin because most Africans have become religious, and then any error in life is called sin. So since Africans become so religious, let me be using the word that they know better, because they don't know about error, they only know about sin. Any error they call it sin. Yes, so type 1 and type 2 comes when man sins against nature, but type 1 most often is inherited or comes due to errors from birth. Whereas type 2 come because of our poor lifestyle, eating habits, and so on. Yes. Yes, so the diabetes most often can come due to errors that we inherit, genetic errors that we inherit from our parents, then, and also due to our own errors that we commit, and it causes damages in our system. And when diabetes comes, you have to do the reverse of what brought it, either in your parents, or then they handed the bad genes to you, or you committed it yourself, and then cause some handicap in your organs, or your organs were impaired and they can't function well. Then diabetes set in. You have to do a reversal of that. Means you have to reverse your lifestyle. Most often, like type 2, most people have type 2 is due to their poor feeding habits. They eat and eat and eat and eat, mostly bad food, because it's not even the too much eating that matters. You can eat very good food at times. There's any food that you can eat a lot of it, it will not harm you. But there's some food you eat just little, it harms you. People eat too much starch, take sugars a lot of sugar, sweet and sweetened products. It will all harm their system and lead to diabetes. People eat and don't rest. They eat all the time. They eat all the time. Eat all the time. They don't rest. Eating all the time. Especially starchy foods that will need the pancreas to operate. They end up harming their system, leading to diabetes, because the pancreas has its work to do. The alpha cells in the pancreas, the alpha cells, you have the Islam of Langerhans indeed. Its work is mostly to break down sugar, convert it to glycogen. Then why you have the beta cells in the pancreas, that work is mostly to work with enzymes and so on, hormones that work in the digestion of fats, emulsified fats and so on, digest them. But when you eat too much, the part of the pancreas that is involved in breaking down sugar or converting it to glycogen, you overlabor it. You overlabor it, just like people have Molinex, your blender at home, your blender at home. You put something to blend, you put your finger there, you don't allow it to rest, you just put your finger there, chop for long, the coil hits and burns. You're supposed to press and press for a short time, allow it to rest, to cool down. That's how the pancreas operates. When you take what it is the duty of pancreas, you have to stop for some time without taking such things so that the pancreas can rest. But when you keep taking it over and overdose, the brain will keep asking the pancreas to go in for work. The pancreas will work and crash out. You develop diabetes. Also, at the level of the cells, when you overeat certain foods, put on too much fat, take bad things, they go and impair the nerves, impair the system that works at the level of the cells. And the cells become less sensitive. They can no longer combine with insulin to burn down sugar. So you see, it is our lifestyle in general, as I earlier said in previous program, that diseases only come when we sin against God. And we know God is nature. When you sin against nature, it means you are sin against God. And how do you sin against nature? You sin against nature by violating the principles that govern life. When you eat anyhow, you violate the principles of feeding. When you eat wrong mixtures, you violate the principle of feeding. You mean you break the law. You have sinned against nature. So it is sin against nature that brings diabetes and many other diseases, which I will be explaining with time. Okay, when it comes to the cure of diabetes, the best solution is in nature. That is why up to date, medically with the orthodox practice, they say diabetes has no cure. You only control medicine forever and ever. Means the medicine become your God. Without it, you can't live. Diabetes will finish you. But in natural medicine, especially with us who practice holistic medicine, who understand the root causes of diabetes, we cure people of diabetes. We have cured them in hundreds, if not thousands, for over close to 30 years now. I've cured so many people of diabetes type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is easily curable, then followed by type 1. With diabetes insipidus, the first one is easily managed. That one is not a cause of concern when it comes to natural medicine. Yes, but with the real diabetes mellitus, type 1 and type 2, we cure with natural medicine. We cause our patients to do the reverse of what we know that brought diabetes, be it type 1 or type 2. And one of the cure, when we are curing people with diabetes, fasting is included. And we place our patients on periods that they fast, also depending on their health. Then we place them on diet, what to eat, organs that we know they are in charge of working to balance body glucose or body sugar. So we are calling on all those who are sick of diabetes. You have been suffering. Come with your diabetes. We will carry out laboratory diagnosis after doing our clinical diagnosis, then place you on the right and appropriate treatments that will heal you of the diabetes, heal you, whether it be it type 1, type 2, or the first one, and you'll be free of diabetes. There are only very few cases that are very stubborn, but we still heal so many of it. So I'm calling on everybody who is sick of diabetes to come to Jenny, which I've subsidized, and people are following it. It's very easy, very affordable, and even available or accessible for everybody. But even though it's given strictly on prescription, most of these medicines are given strictly on prescription. You cannot just come and I want to buy medicine for diabetes. Anybody sell? Nobody will sell. If the person sell, it means the person has violated a rule, and once discovered, the person will be seriously sanctioned. So the medicine is not an over-the-counter medication. Their medicines for diabetes are given strictly on prescription. Even though I have cases who have taken only my bitter tea, which is an over-the-counter medication, they have taken only bitter tea for a few months. Don't perform again. You know what you are losing. The damage cost. Do you know how much people spend only to treat sexual weakness? They're not at all treating what causes it. It causes blindness. Do you know how much people spend just to treat their eyes? Hundreds of thousands. Do you know how it destroys kidneys? Do you know how much people spend to do dialysis? And your life is at risk. When you calculate this, you'll see that the medicine is even dash. It's given for free. Because one bottle of the medicine, I think, is around 40-something thousand, and it's only one you take. While taking and doing controls, and one will last for some time. The people take only one. Most of the time, the sugar become normal. They will spend time only send out because out will give more than that. I'm giving by Cameroon price. Out, some people will give it even 5, 6, 10 times more than that cost. So, I advise people when you are sick of diabetes.
Mankan, Babenda again, behind Total Commercial Avenue. Contact 677-319-866. Limbe, Carr Street, Newtown. Contact 674-288-957. Bafoussam, behind Légion de Gendarmerie. Contact 680-219-145 or 697-921-385. For consultations only, contact his healer, Dr. Richard Fro at 677-628-980 or 699-958-893.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richard Froome, for edifying us about the issue of having sugar, formerly known as diabetes. And of course, we think that the message is gone across. You've got the contact numbers on your screens while the message was running through. If you are part of those who are infected with diabetes, you know what to do, right? You've got the access code. Get into Dr. Richard Froome. Make sure you try to get to him and try to screen yourself, get yourself medication, because diabetes is a killer disease. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ifako Division, enough is enough. And of course, the people of Moyuka Subdivision 2 are celebrating their victory over an issue of land grabbing from Boya Subdivision. Remember that the Ministry of Land Tenure, Minister Henry Ayebe Yisim, last week sent down the communique cancelling some layouts that were being given to some villages in Boya Subdivision. The villages, the new layout was located in Moyuka Subdivision of Fako Division. So the chiefs of that village, those villages, are celebrating their victory over the justified way that the government of Cameroon handled the issue. So Many papers are talking about these stories today. Let's begin this morning talking about our press review. And of course, on our press review slot, ladies and gentlemen, which of course it is a guided tour to the tablet, to the papers on what they are saying this morning, Monday the 21st of April 2025. And of course, let me say good morning and happy birthday this morning. That's Paul Biya Hamas had against tribalism, ethnic bias. As the President of the Republic, Paul Biya continues to express his views on critical national issues via his social media account. Some of the vices he has lashed out against in the past week are tribalism, regionalism, and ethnic bias. According to observers, calling out these vices is an indication that the President is aware of the enormity of the danger. Cameroon Insider this morning equally says fake job aids continue to fuel human trafficking in Africa. Cameroonians have fallen deep into the new phenomenon of advertisements for juicy jobs overseas. In many cases, observed as Easter Sunday, the yearly Christian celebration honoring the resurrection of Christ Jesus. This and many more you can get on today's edition on page 5. Sun says that Moyuka scores major land victory against 13 Boya villages. Honorable Chief Findi mobilizes chiefs of Moyuka subdivision to reclaim land earlier ceded to some 13 Boya villages by orders of land minister. And the paper equally says, in an unprecedented move, the Minister of State Property, Survey and Land Tenure, Henry Eyebe Ayisi, last April 10, cancelled all previous orders and gave back the parcels of land to the community of Moyuka subdivision. If you want to get to know this story and more, grab in today's edition of The Sun in page 2 and feed your indulgence about this land saga in Fako division, which of course the Minister of Land Tenure is struggling to kill in Fako division. PCC Bonadi Combo Christians celebrate Easter in high spirit. This story you can get in today's edition of the Sun newspaper. The Sun equally says that Mayor of Limbe 3, Mayor Nseke, declares inclusion of Limbe 1 villages into Limbe 3. Wana campus. And of course, we leave the advocate this morning to go down to Cameroon Echoes on our tablet this morning. Cameroon Echoes says that planting season in Southwest slowing down petty trading. Why is planting season slowing down petty trading this morning? Grab a copy to this edition of Cameroon Echoes and read on page 10 about the situation. And the paper equally says Southwest human rights boss Tambetiku makes policemen sweat for extorting and torturing. Recovers 400,000 francs extorted, victim head to court. You can get details of it and many more in today's edition of Cameroon Echoes. Still inside Cameroon Echoes, the paper says that new leadership at helm of Bakudam, Ndian Agriculture and Rural Development Delegate Njemu Derek, elected president. And of course, you want to know just what Mr. Njemu Derek of Chambama Victor. The paper's captions this morning at first Pan-African Financial Unit Forum in Yaoundé. Actors commit to strengthen integrity, boost cyber resilience. If you want to get to understand just how could this be realized, based as atrocities worsening in community. Now, the elites for Baba One in the northwest region of Cameroon are requesting from the government of Cameroon to place or to create a military base to crack down on armed atrocities in their village. And the paper equally captions on another story this morning saying that Anglophone activist Abdul Karim gets life sentence. Why is the Muslims? If you want to get to understand just how the incident unfolded, grab a copy of today's edition of the Herald Tribune. The Herald Tribune equally says that in PhD thesis, Blanche Ngome urges telcos to step up CSR communication. Yeah, this story you can read on page 4 in today's edition of the Herald Tribune. The Herald Tribune equally captioned on canned food slowing slowly poisoning Cameroonian, increase taxes. Karim gets life jail despite last-minute shift on Anglophone crisis. You can get details of that on page 4 as well on today's edition of the Horizon paper.